with Everton nicking a point in the last second with a worldie against Spurs. Does this make this game against Leeds must win for Nottingham Forest? Sorry, Ant, but I used the word. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are. Whatever time of day you're watching this, hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to your match preview for Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest, which will be live from Bell End Road at 7:45, and tonight we'll start our watch along from about 7:15 p.m. So if you're not going, make sure you tune in. And if you're going to be in at the watch along tonight, let me know by hitting that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and go grab your tickets for the signed, framed Nottingham Forest away kit signed by the squad this year. Go grab your tickets. There's still quite a few left. You've only got 48 hours to get those in before the draws from football prizes even. Click on that link down below. Coming up in today's video, we're going to look at the predicted Forest team. We're going to look at the predicted Leeds team. What changes or no changes that should be made. There's a little hint for you. And talk about the Leeds injuries, talk about our injuries, etc. So let's get into this and let's get started. Look, the key thing to firstly acknowledge as a Forest fan is, one, we do have a good record at Bell End Road. That's a given. But this season we have a crap record away from home. Going on the road of Forest right now is a roller coaster. But it's not even a scary one. It's more one of those predictable ones where you know there's going to be one loop-de-loop and then it flattens out. And that's what it feels like right now. And I don't think that's a bad attitude to have as a Forest fan. I think if you go in expecting no points, anything that we do get would be a bonus. Does that even make sense? I don't know. Maybe that's just my weird mind working. So I'm getting into this one thinking, look, if we go by statistics, if we go by form of what we've seen so far this season, by the book, Forest should lose. But we got Niakate and we got Felipe, and something about those two just fills me with great confidence. Please don't let the Wolverine jinx hit them, please. But I feel that that foundation, as I've spoken about a lot, is what we can build on. So is there something, as always, building up inside of me on match day thinking, you know what, guys? We got a shot here. Yes, there is. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know. I'm just flip-flopping through my own mind thinking that we can do this. I saw a lot of positives in the game on Saturday. That first half was one of the most enjoyable halves of football I've watched this season, as in of Nottingham Forest. Not the second half. Look, we've debated that. We've discussed that till we're blue in the teeth. It's done. We move forward. What I would love to see is that same approach in that first half with that energy of Mangala, of Danilo still being put in the team. But I fear that Cooper may drop them just to rotate and rest. We'll get into the team in a second. The thing you got to worry about, the thing we need to acknowledge as Forest fans is that the Leeds fans have targeted this fixture at Bell End Road as a must-win game for themselves. They've penciled this in. In fact, you could even argue that the Leeds management has penciled this one in when they've potentially rested some players or tried to get players back to fitness by, riding off the Arsenal match they just had. So the way they're treating this is the same way that we looked at the Everton match recently, the Wolves match, the Bournemouth match from earlier in the season, and other games like that. But we know how those ended up for us, so hopefully the same thing will happen with Leeds, where they're putting too much pressure on themselves on this game, making this their must-win. And we can turn up and maybe upset the apple cart on it. But this is Forest away from home. This is... Look, I don't know. I don't know what side of the fence I'm on. So you know what? Let's just jump in and have a look at the teams. All right, even. So let's get into this and let's look at the team that I would go for. And this one is pretty easy for me. I say, don't change it. Honestly, I was so impressed with the first half performance and so unimpressed with the second half performance that I feel you could replicate the first half performance away from home as well with these players. Only thing, obviously, I would change is Lodi in for Tuffalo. And that's not because Tuffalo didn't play well. I thought Tuffalo was really good. I just think that Lodi is overall a better player. But Tuffalo, great backup. I actually would be tempted to put Tuffalo at right back. I know it's a bit unorthodox, but I'd trust him more than Williams. Obviously, if Aurier's fit, I bring Aurier in. But I really did like this midfield. And with Cooper saying that Yates's still out with his shoulder injury, I don't see a need to change it. The key thing that I didn't mention in the in-depth analysis yesterday was about how MGW was, I thought, so much better yesterday because Shelvey wasn't on the pitch, or Wood, if you want to take it a step further. And what do I mean by that? When you look at some of the chances that were created in the match against Wolves, what happened was that Freuler was playing balls into MGW, and then he was the catalyst feeding into Dennis or into Johnson or into Danilo, whoever was overlapping. Whereas what you find when Shelvey's in the team, Shelvey goes Hollywood, it bypasses MGW. And MGW can't get involved in the game in and around that centre circle area where he picks the ball up and then he can drive it forward. So for me, I think the balance isn't far off. Now, do I think Cooper will do this? No. I have a stinking feeling he's going to drop Dennis and put Awoni in. That may be one of the changes he goes for. The other thing I'm worried about is that he seemed to be bigging himself up with the changes he made where he brought Worrell in. And there's just, I don't think it will happen, but there's just this little niggling feeling in the back of my mind that he might go with 3 at the back. He might put Felipe in the middle, Niakate on the left side and Worrell on the right. I don't think, look, even if he did that, it wouldn't work because then he's either going to have to go a 3-4-3, but that still leaves you with a 2-man midfield. And in a 3-back formation, the 2-man midfield doesn't work in the Premier League. Look at Spurs. It's just not working for them. Look how Potter was trying to do it under Chelsea. They were struggling. He's got to go 4-3-3 for me. I don't think I'd go 4-2-3-1 away at Leeds. I'd go 4-3-3. Put those 3 guys in the middle and let the 3 up front do what they did and get in behind. What we know for sure is that Leeds will play a high line. And if Leeds are playing the high line, it'll be similar gaps that we saw Wolves leaving us at the City ground for the likes of the pace of Dennis and Johnson to get in behind. And I think that will work. Look, the other thing is, would I like to see Scarpa starting in the team? Absolutely. But there's no way he's going to start tomorrow. If at best we can hope he's going to be named on the bench. And maybe he comes on probably to replace Dennis in the second half, something like that. You may see Awoni coming on in the second half if he doesn't start him. I don't think he'll be a million miles off this team. But I don't know why, the one niggly feeling I've got is he goes 3 at the back and he tries to play Cooper ball, counter-attack FC. What do you guys think? Is there a chance that could happen? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. All right, let's have a quick look at the Leeds team. And there is a lot of injuries, but don't get yourselves overexcited. There's still a decent team that they can put together. Look, Nonto is probably even going to be out injured. And so is Tyler Adam, who's probably one of their best midfielders. But I still think Sinistera is a great player. And he was one that I wouldn't have minded coming to Forest in the transfer window. So don't be like, this isn't going to be the same Leeds team that came to Nottingham Forest. And may I remind you, they did dominate us. They just couldn't finish. The reason they couldn't finish because they had Bamford up front. And Bamford wasn't being connected in with the 2 overlappers. There'll be a whole different kettle of fish to deal with at Belland Road. But what they have now that they didn't have at the City ground is Rodrigo. And I rate Rodrigo really highly. He is a goal scorer. He's got that delicate touch if needed. He's already scored one since his return from injury with about 5 minutes of play. He came on in their previous match against Arsenal and he got about, I think, 60 odd minutes under his belt, 30 minutes. I think he might come on in the 63rd minute. I think they've been saving their players for this game. They almost wrote Arsenal game off and were just using that to bring players up to fitness where they could. And I think that's what they'll do. Firpo's been really good for them at left back. And it's gonna be interesting, him versus Jono. But where I think we will have success is Ayling. If we play Dennis down there, Dennis can get in behind Ayling, and that could be where we're fruitful on the counter-attack. Make no mistake, Cooper isn't going to go out there and attack. As much as I would love him to, maybe as much as some of you guys would love him to, the likelihood of that happening is very slim. We are going to see counter-attack FC. But it just depends. Look, with Niakate, I keep saying it, with Niakate and Felipe, we have rocks in centre-backs that we can build from. They need to be able, the rest of the team, to have the confidence in those two that they will control that back line by themselves and they can play higher up the pitch. We saw it in the first half against Wolves. I pray to God we see something similar tonight with this one. But I think this will be the Leeds team. I don't think I'm too far off because of the amount of injuries that they do have. But I worry about Rodrigo and Sinistera. Outside of that, their midfield is definitely weakened, but still decent. I mean, McKennie, I think, is more hype than quality. I don't want to name any players because you guys know the jinx that happens when I do. But that's what I think the team will be. Let's move on. Let's move on. You know what? Looking at the team sheets, I kind of feel a bit more confident, but at the same time, really apprehensive. Every game at the moment, I don't know about you guys. Let me know how games make you feel at the moment. They just make me feel like I'm going to have the runs 24/7, man. Like you just run in your head the permutations, the way things could go. Will we see the Forest of the first half against Wolves? Or will we see the one at the second half? Or will we see the old Forest with the low block Cooper FC style football? I don't know. It's just feeling like it's getting to the end of the season. Boy, is it exciting, but man, is it stressful. I do feel a bit of confidence on this one because I feel that we have to win it. No, it's not must win. Look, I'm not going to go and start freaking an argument of Ant about this. It's not must win. But when you start to look at our fixture lists, you do start to worry. And just to add a little more spice to this, there is a scenario tomorrow night. It's unlikely, I know, but Forest could be 19th in the league. And the thing is, all the teams underneath us are playing at home. Obviously, Leeds are at home because we got them. Leicester are at home. And the other one is Bournemouth at home to Brighton. Now, can Bournemouth beat Brighton? On paper, you'd say no, man. But who knows at the moment with this Premier League? And Leicester, let me double check, they got Villa. Villa are on the beach, potentially. They're playing really well. We've got them coming up. Could Leicester beat them? New manager bounce or no manager bounce? It's scary. It's scary. What am I predicting for this game? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know. I just... predicting Forest matches for me is so hard because you always want to go with your heart, don't you? And your heart's always saying, "You'll smash them 4-0, 5-0. Your head makes you feel a bit more cautious. This one, I'm sitting on the fence, guys. This feels like it might have 0-0 written all over it. That's my prediction. What the hell do you guys think? You guide me with your comments. Let me know how you feel. We'll have a look. It also depends on the team sheet. The team sheet is going to tell us a lot. Is Dennis going to be dropped? Maybe for Awoniyi. I don't think that's a good move. Are we going to see that midfield broken up that played so well against Wolves? Are we going to see Lodi coming back in? Or is my worst fear going to be realised and Cooper's going to revert to a back three and bring Worrell in? We'll find out tonight. We'll see you at 7:15. Make sure you're there. We'll digest and get under the team sheet to start with. And then we'll cheer the boys on because once that whistle goes, we want nothing but the win. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in a couple of hours. Hit that like if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. God damn it, I'm nervous. Come on, you Reds.